So Vayeshev Gimel. So the pasuk says Vayave Yosef el dibatam ra'ah, right? That Yosef went and spoke bad to his about his brothers. And Rashi says that the three things that he did, which you said are
They were doing eating the
Ebed Minahai,
yeah,
good.
and speaking partly on Bill and Zilpa's
Right,
face.
right, Zilpa, right. And he was hoshed on them on Arayot. Okay.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, that's the third one, Arayot. Which Rashi doesn't go into explaining what, but I'm going to look it up later. Anyway, the question is so now you're telling me everything's midah keneg midah, that he got hit for everything, right? That the fact that he complained about he said lashon hara about his brothers about Arayot. So what happened to him? He ate the Eshes Potifar. But now you're telling me Ebed Minahai. What does Rashi say? Rashi says that they shechted a seir, a goat, when they sold him.
Yeah.
So why is that such a big deal?
What do you mean?
Who cares?
That they shechted the goat?
They shechted a goat. That is punishment for Yosef.
Yeah, that's
Tattletaling that they're eating from a raw animal.
Yeah, how does that mean they're connected?
What's the big deal? I don't care. You already sold me. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Instead of meter connect, I would think that's more like a.
It means nothing. Right. Right. Cute.
There's a goat there, and there's a goat here.
Right. So look inside. It says Kasher Manil Ke Yosef B'Shchat Seiri Bazeh. Right. What did he? He didn't get hurt by they shechted an animal. Big deal. Now, if you want to say Bishlema Al Mashasiper Alem Shayu Korim Lehavadim. Right, then it makes sense that they sold him as an Eved. Okay, that's good. Right, but regarding shechting a goat, how does that hurt Yosef? And even if you want to say that the shechting was done before you sold him, what does that matter? What does it matter? Right? Why specifically did they shecht it? Meaning they shechted him now, when in front of Yosef's eyes. But even if they shechted him before, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Right? So look, he brings the Zera Berach, right? So Zera Berach, remember 16:16, right? He brings in the name of who was rabbi. Who was his rabbi? Megale Amukot. Okay, always heavy. Megale Amukot says that there's an angel, Sar Gadol Yesh Berakia. There's a Sar Gadol that's in the Shamaim, and it's called Amon Mino. Amon Mino is the name, and this is the angel of Mitzrayim. And he would be upstairs during Yetziat Mitzrayim. He held on, this is what he brings. He held on to the right side, but the right hand, I guess, of the goat, screaming about Mechirat Yosef. This is Megale Amukot. We're going to see what this has to do. So the question that the Zera Shimshon is asking on the Megale Amukot is, why is he holding this leg of the goat? As a mekatrek what's the mekatrek to prosecute against Bnei Israel. So again, what's your face? What's that?
The sin of selling the Yosef is symbolized specifically by a goat. Why?
Yes, that's the question. Why? So we're going to see in a minute. We're going to see in a minute. The first question is, why are you telling me midah keneg midah the three things? Mm-hmm. So even minahai, what's midah keneg midah? What do you have to do to pay for it? You had a goat was shechted and they ate it. Thank you so much. In front of him. How does that help me?
Before the sale.
Right, before the sale, after the sale, doesn't matter. It's not relevant either way. The whole thing makes no sense. And you also, this Od Sarich Iyun is why the Zera Berach writes about Megale Amukot, that he says that there's one giant side in Shamaim, who is the angel of Mitzrayim, grabs the right leg of a goat, and would be Mekatreg al Mechirat Yosef. What does this leg of the goat have anything to do about Mechirat? Meaning he's using it as a reason to say that you shouldn't let them out of Mitzrayim. How does that help? Why is he holding? It's like walking. You imagine you have to go to court, God forbid, and you walk in and you're holding like a lulav. What do you bring for? What? Very nice. What's the purpose? So look what it says. The pasuk says, "Hareotem asher asitem." Right? Yosef haya mitgae al Ehav beomro ki ilulehu iyu kulam mesurim beyad Esav. Yosef had one up. He says to his brothers that I am higher than all of you, because I'm the only one that can handle Esav. Meaning the force of Esav, the impurity of Esav, could only be dealt with through me. Yosef HaSadiq. Okay? And if it wasn't for me, you all would be still under his rule. Because Yosef is the counterforce of Esav. How do we know? It's crazy. How do we know? The Midrash says that Esav is called a Sa'ir. Esav is called a Sa'ir, a goat. Like it says in the Midrash. V'natanu tam al Rosh HaSa'ir. Who is this Rosh HaSa'ir? The Esav. Esav is Ish Sa'ir. Okay, so we now know Esav is a goat. It's starting to come together. Let's see. Yosef is saying, I'm the only one that can handle the impurity head to head with Esav. I could do it. You guys collectively cannot.
And the ministering angel of Mitzrayim has the leg of a goat when he's saying, "There's the reason that they got to go into."
They have to stay in Mitzrayim. No, they have to, that they can't go out. If you look inside, he's talking more that he's mekatreg when they're trying to leave. When during Yetziat Mitzrayim there was a whole balagan in Shemayim. They didn't want to let Bnei Israel go. Nah, Simon says, you said 400 years, it's only 200, it's only 84. Give me more. What do you mean? They're going to have to serve. So Hashem says, yeah, but I didn't say it has to be under you. It could be on other people. And we were on the other people. Exponentially, but whatever. we were. Then we explain that Yosef is telling that I'm the only one that can handle Yosef, that Esav, and you guys can't. And we bring that Esav is called Sa'ir. Right? So when they sell him, when they sell Yosef, right away they shecht a Se'irizim in front of him. Why? To hint to him that they also have the power to save themselves from Esav. What you're saying is not true. Yosef is saying, I'm the one that's going to I'm the one that can handle Esav myself. And you guys can't collectively. The brothers are shechting a Se'ir. Remember, Se'ir is Esav. Like we learned in the Midrash. And he's hinting them, Shebeyadam yesh koach liyinatzel miyad ha'seir. Right? Al yedei ma'asehem hatovim. They have the good deeds that formulates your artillery in the spiritual worlds. And based on this shehita, which is a mitzvah, we're going to weaken the power of Esav.
You're not the only one who's got this.
You're not the only one.
We got this too.
Yeah. But Yosef was mitgaeh alehav, saying, no, I'm the one that could do it, and you guys can't. By the way, Yosef was the younger brother. It's not like he was the oldest that says, okay, boys, you're not ready for this. I'll handle it. No, he was the younger one saying, I got it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And what does the Rambam write? In Moreh Nevuchim, he writes, and the Sefer HaChinuch brings this. What's the reason why Eved Min HaChai is Asur? Where does this come, this Isur of Eved Min HaChai? Why? Kedei shelo yithaveh banu midat achzariyut hameguneh. Because if a person, God forbid, eats Eved Min HaChai, he's doing what? He's implementing a very bad midah of cruelty inside of him. All right? So again, what's this cruelty? You're eating something that's alive. You're ripping something off from something that's living, and you're eating it. So that when you eat that, you are what you eat. By the way, it's crazy. In Serbia, they did a test, a crazy test. It's not something you say in public, but I'll tell you. I
think it's being recorded, just saying.
I'm sure that's right.
I'm ready.
that they took a prisoner and they starved him for 3 days, and they put a plate of bread in front of him. But they chained him so that he couldn't get to it. So he stared at it. He stared at it, miskin, for 3 days. They tested the bread after, and it was poison. It was poison.
There's crazy.
There's a lot of things. Look at water. By the way, he talked to water. Remember? David Farron told me, he blew me away. He blew me away. And then it makes sense. Berachot. You say a beracha. You're changing the item that you're
infusing it with appropriate essence.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. So when a person does it the wrong way, right, which is you're grabbing, you're ripping it off through cruelty because you're not happy. It's nasty, right? So you're putting that into your body. So it's putting yourself into that midat of achzariyut, right? And now Yosef tells his brothers that they're eating eved min ha'chai. And he's going to think, Yosef is going to think now that the reason that he was afraid that his father would think in his heart that the reason why they hate Yosef is because shera'u bo ezo avera b'mitzvah lisnoto. What does that mean? Look, what does it say over there? She'atam shekol ehav soni, right? So she'aya mityareh pen yachshov aviv belibo she'atam shekol ehav sonim leYosef yeh mehamad she'ra'u bo eze avera shemitzvah. They found in him an avera, and there's a mitzvah to hate a rasha. Sinura, exactly, perfect, exactly right. So, and Yosef was afraid that they're going to think that Yaakov is going to think that they hate me because I am doing. There's a mitzvah to hate me, and for that reason, Yosef was afraid. Right? That's exactly like it says in Pesachim, right? So Lachen, therefore, he brings this word to Yaakov, telling him that his brothers are eating Eved Min HaHai, to hint that the reason why they hate me is because it's self-inflicted. They're allowed. They don't care if they have cruelty and eating it, right? So now you can ask me a quick question and say,
Where's
what are you
coming? No,
how can it be Eved Min HaHai? The brothers would never eat Eved Min HaHai.
Well,
They're not gonna.
They didn't.
So they did it, right? That's true. But what is it? It's a mahloket on when you shecht an animal.
The twitch or the no twitch.
The twitch. So if it twitches, is it considered still alive or not?
Do you remember who?
Yes, I do. Avi, you tell me. You tell me. Yes, you do.
Is it
because
Shammai?
Oh, I don't remember in the Gemara. In the Gemara, no, I don't
That's
remember.
right. I didn't mean to.
No, but we know how Yosef holds. Yosef holds.
It's twitching, it's not good.
It's not. It's alive,
Yeah.
and if it's alive, no good.
Right.
So now, Yosef is telling. Why is he telling Dafka Eved Min HaHai? Because the brothers already hate him. So the fact that they already hate him, now Yaakov is going to think, oh, they hate him for a reason. My children of Shalem, we know we have 12 kids.
And he's coming in saying the reason is
because
they've infused themselves with the evil of
right.
eating alive
Not
animals.
because it's a mitzvah to hate me for any mitzvah, any avirah that I did.
Eating, okay,
right.
I get it.
So Amnan, however, now that Yosef, they wanted to show Yosef what? When they sold him, they wanted to show Yosef. She'adirabah, on the contrary, right? They're acting with midat rahmanut. And that is a siman that they never ate Eved Min HaHai. How do we say that? They're shechting the seid to show you that we're shechting the animal properly and we're going to eat it. Right? Shaharehem shahadim et haseid lefi shedamo dome adam ledam adam ubazeh. Oh, so I'm sorry. What's the rahmanut? Not that they're shechting the animal. They're showing the rahmanut that they're not just going to say Yosef disappeared. We don't know. We're going to go out of a way to shecht this goat that has the same type of blood like a person, and then put it into ketone pasim, rip it up, show it to Yaakov to give him closure of why you're not around anymore. What do you mean? If we had cruelty in us, we never do that.
We would just let
Yaakov wonder forever, right? And that's exactly what we're not doing. And if you want to say that Yosef is a tzaddik, right? Deimita that Yosef haya tzaddik, lo haya lo Yaakov la'alot bedato sevra ze kelal. And if Yaakov was a tzaddik, it would never be thought. This concept of him dying or getting killed would never happen. Why? Because we know what it says in the Gemara on Shabbat. En haya ra'a sholedet ba'adam ela im ken nidme lo kebehema. Right? We say unless you, what's the difference between a tzaddik and a rasha? A rasha does things that are animal-like. A rasha does things that are animal-like. Adam,
without even knowing where you're going with this, I would say, what's the difference between a person and an animal? Okay, the person has the ability to choose between right or wrong, and an animal is an animal.
Animal does right. No free choice. It's all about survival.
They work how animals work instinctually. Right. Be the animal.
Right. So if you're going to be a rasha, you're allowing your Yetzirah to take over, not allowing your Yetzirah to have any type of input. And you're allowing it to happen. So, and like it says in the Gemara, only a hayara, specifically a wild animal, only affects someone that acts like a wild animal. So, if Yosef was a tzaddik, right, then it would never enter Yaakov's mind that that animal really killed him. Because if Yosef was a tzaddik, it never would have happened. You don't know who's a tzaddik or not.
A wild beast cannot gain superiority over a person.
Right.
Okay? And he's keeping to say, unless it appears to the animal that
the guy is another animal.
Through his evil deeds.
Yeah.
Another animal.
I remember...
So somebody's pure.
I remember Rabusu. Listen, Rabusu is the son-in-law of the Baba Sali. He passed away about 1 or 2 years ago. I met him once. Okay? And he was in Argentina. And he was getting on the shechita situation. No, that's a different story. So he was in Argentina, and a guy came to rob him. He was getting to his car. The guy wanted to mug him. Rabusu turned around and looked at him, because that's what you normally do when someone's going to try to mug you.
Probably, yeah.
And the guy looked. He got b'chaft in Arabic. He got scared and he ran away. That's a true story. They said it at the levaya. That's how I know, or at the shiva.
Sense. You're talking about
because right. So rasha is only going to be compatible with a rasha. Okay, the tzaddik has a totally different situation going on. So the hayara. So now that Yosef got killed, Yaakov said, all right, he was not a tzaddik, gamur. Because if he was a tzaddik, then it never would have happened, right? But what do you have to say? Shelefi ma'asav haya haya mita, because based on what he did, what Yosef did, he was haya mita. Why? Because what it say in Pesachim? It says that a person who is misapel lashon hara is worthy of getting thrown to the dogs. Okay? Umin hadin, according to halakha, they were allowed to kill him, right? And the fact that they sold him was only through midat rahamim. That's what they're explaining. Right, Yosef nilka, right, and Yosef was hit. Shenitparsem b'maaseh zeh shehu hata v'sipeh lashon hara alehem. So what is the thing he told lashon hara about Eved min Ahai? Not the seidizim is not the reason, is not the midah keneg midah. It's the reason why they did it. You're calling us cruel because we're eating Eved min Ahai. I'm showing you now that we're not cruel because we're going out of our way to shech the animal. So you see it, and then Yaakov, your father's going to see it. He's going to know that you're not a Sadiq Gamur because you did speak Lashon Hara and you are worthy of death. Okay? And the fact that we're not killing you, Yitzhak knew. By the way, Yitzhak knew. He was alive? Yitzhak was alive. He knew that Yosef was sold, but he said, "If HaKadosh Baruch Hu says nothing, I can't say something." So he struggled to see his own son for 22 years. Okay, struggle has he? Well, I don't think he was around for the whole 22, but I'm saying he saw it, right? So the Ahim is showing we're not doing it out of we don't have achrazi, we don't have cruelty in us. We have rahmanut. So what's the punishment that Yosef got? The fact that now everyone's going to become known that he is a hoteh. And that he did speak Lashon Hara, and he is worthy of death because the Hayara did eat him. As opposed to actually really killing you. Because we should, and we're not. So don't tell us that we're whatever. Right? And now, what about the Malach in Mitzrayim, the Malach in Shamayim we said from Mitzrayim? What happened to that guy? And now you can understand why the Malach upstairs, is using the Sa'ir to make katreg. Because the Shevatim, they shechted the Seir to hint that they have the mitzvot in their hand, that we can handle it. We got this. We don't need you. We can do it on our own. Right? And then after the Ahim died, their children did not follow suit. They didn't have the Maaseh Tovim. Hashem had to give us Dam Milah and Dam Korban and Dam Pesach.
I don't want this question to sound like Apikorsis, God forbid.
Go ahead.
It's coming from a totally just not learning this stuff before space. Are all the brothers considered to be tzaddikim? 100%.
All the Shalem. 12 Shvatim. All 12. All 12. Binyamin, you should know.
The only thing I know is that they wanted to kill Yosef, they threw him in the pit, and Reuben is the one who comes and says, no.
But not in a bad way. They did it because they made a bedin. They made a bedin.
I gotcha.
They made a bedin and ruled that he is deserving of death. Because they felt that with all the dreams of him wanting to become king, he's messing with the dynasty. He wants to what? He wants to be king and let the father rule. That's what it means. 100%. It says inside, after Maaseh Ruben last week's parasha, that Yaakov had 12 children. And that implies that she says that it's all what's it called? That they're all shalem. They're all tzaddikim. So, okay, it happens, but whatever. So now, the Sa'id, right? So now, why is the Sa'id holding this leg up, right? The right leg of this goat, to say that the reason why they sold him was because Yosef knew that he's the counterforce against Esav, and they will say, no, we can handle it. So now they want to go out of Mitzrayim. They don't deserve to go out of Mitzrayim. So he's holding up to say what? Where are their children? They said that they can handle it. They can't handle it. They have no zechuyot. They have no masim tovim. So that's how again, the Ahim said, Yosef, you think you're the counterforce of Esav. It's okay. We're going to handle it ourselves. We shech the goat, symbolic. That's Esav, and we're going to do it ourselves. Okay? And at the same time, but then that's all fine and dandy when the Ahim were alive. But when they died, okay, you didn't have the children, their children and their children's children who were slaves were not able to keep the Torah because they were slaves. They didn't have time of their own. So therefore they had no zechuyot. If they had no zechuyot, you cannot defeat the Esav, right? You can't defeat him. Right? And that's the reason why he's holding it up. But there is another question that you have to ask. Right? That he says he's hashud on arayot. But right? So what happens? He gets potifar, eshe potifar as a punishment. But why are we assuming that is bad? That's actually good for him. What happened with eshe potifar made him king. If it wasn't for him, he would have been working, or he would have been slave for potifar forever. He would have been doing fine, but he never would have been king. He gets thrown into jail because of what happened with Potiphar's wife. Okay, bing bang boom, the guy ends up going, interpret a couple of dreams, all of a sudden he's a viceroy, right? והלא אדרבה, זה היה שבח לו, שזכה למנוחה בשביל זה. כמו like it says in the Midrash, פה שלא נשק בעבירה, is right, so I don't know the whole Midrash, but the mouth that didn't mess itself up with an avera by kissing Potiphar's wife is going to be the one that's going to come with the idea of how to save the world. Okay? So the question, so we answered first on Eved Mirahai. Now we're going to ask on Arayot. Vayesh lomar mikol makom mideh hirhur lo yatsa. Okay, this is a very important thing. When a person has a hirhur, a machshava, it says in Sotah, it doesn't count. Nice, right? Melamed she'alu shenehem lemita arumi. What is it? Right? Because by the way, it's crazy.
No, the note here, I never.
What?
The Yeshomar is the one that says we can actually, although Yosef did not sin with Eshet Potiphar,
they were in the bed together. Yeah, he had thoughts. Of course, he was, of course, 17 years old. By the way, 17. It was come on, and they were, and so the Gemara over there says that they were in the bed, but they didn't. And then he jumped, and then he bailed. But it's crazy. It's very 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 it's very hard.
It's very hard.
Okay, so now, but by the way, not only that, but also he had rumors and he was embarrassment that the whole world thought that he slept with her, he wanted to sleep with her, right, and that she didn't want, and that's the reason why he got thrown into jail. So remember, we said the Rashi says, what's the problem? What's the issue? The issue is what is that the arayot, right? Because
it seems he was rewarded because he
yeah. What do you mean? So that wasn't the thing. It was the boshet panim that he had to suffer. That the whole Mitzrayim was under the impression that Yosef tried to seduce Potiphar's wife as opposed to the opposite, and he had to deal with that embarrassment, and he got thrown in jail because of it. That is how he paid back, not the arayot Eshet Potiphar. Eshet Potiphar was only the way it happened. Again. He said that everybody on Arayot. Very good. Okay? He has to pay for that. So Hashem does midah keneg midah. What happens midah? You're gonna deal with your own Arayot problems. Okay? But how is
he withstood? Even though he withstood the Arayot with Eshet Potiphar,
he became king at the end. Come on, everyone has rough years.
He still was in a position that
everybody's got rough years.
Talking that look what he tried to seduce.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's got rough years.
There.
Okay. So no. The first you have to split it. The first was that it's not so bad because everybody has rough years. So the fact that he became a king, that's not a punishment. That's part of the question. How are you going to tell me that that's the punishment to Yosef? It's not the punishment,
right?
Because he became king,
right?
So what's the real punishment? The embarrassment that he had to deal with, that everybody believed that he was the one that was trying to seduce. And also, he got thrown in jail for a whole bunch of years because of it. So that's the fight. That's what he had to deal with. And it also says, by the way, in Sotah, something crazy, that Yosef, Yosef was just as worthy to have the 12 tribes come out of him, just like Yaakov, just like it happened to Yaakov. The only reason why it didn't happen was because of the 10 drops that he let out. He didn't let out; they probably pushed themselves out. But the fact that they came out was the reason why he wasn't zocheh. Yeah, you're three. I know that I never got a thing on.
But also, you skipped this really wonky medrash here.
What?
No. It says in Sotah over here, exact source unknown, that when the pasuk is telling us that Yosef entered the house to do his work. It means
I said shalu shenehem lamita arumim,
intending to sin.
I know, I said that.
And then
yeah,
the decline in his purity was punishment for raising the questions on his brother's morality.
Say again.
This almost the almost happening.
Yeah,
was the decline in his purity.
Yes, right. And Yaakov, you should know, was the first. Yaakov, his first seed was with the Reuven. He was 80 years old when he got married. This is how purity is so important, right? It was the first seed, and that seed was meant for Yosef because he thought he was with Rachel that night. He didn't know he was with Leah, and that's why the Gemara says that the Bechorah got transferred when Reuven last week's Parshat moved the beds, right? Yaakov takes the Bechorah from Reuven and gives it to Yosef. You should just know. So you see that Yosef was on such a level that he was able to have the 12 Shevatim to come out of him,
Originally.
just like Yaakov did, but because of what happened by Vayeshev Potiphar, he had the decline, like you said, and that's also part of the punishment because you accuse your brothers of arayot. So you understand? So again, just to recap, you have Yosef says bad, right? Rashi explains what the punishment was, 1, 2, 3. The question is, what's the big deal that you telling me that Yosef got his punishment was that his brother shechted a goat. It makes no sense. And we bring a Zera Berat that brings the Megale Amukot that explains that the Sada Mitzrayim and Shamayim, by the time Yitzhak Mitzrayim is holding up this leg of this goat, of the shechted goats, trying to make Katrek, say they don't deserve to leave. Okay, what's going on? We explained that Yosef had the power. He was, by the way, you'll find in many places that Yosef, that Yaakov was excited when Yosef was born because he was the counter force against Esav. It was like it was known to Yaakov. That's why it says Ve'aviv Shabbat Davad. He says he was excited Metzapeh. He was excited, waiting for the day to come. But he kept quiet because he didn't want his brothers to get more jealous. He knew there was friction. Okay, so then he says what that Yosef had the ability to overpower the brothers with Esav, and the brothers say, "Chill your bones. We could do it also." So we're shechting to show you that we're going to shech Esav the same, right? And then when they sold him, they shechted him again to show you that right that we could all collectively we could handle Esav, right? And then we bring the Rambam and Sefer HaChinuch that explains what's the reason for Eved Min HaChai. And to explain because it imparts in you the midah of cruelty. You're doing something cruel. You are what you eat. You're going to become cruel. So Yosef was afraid that because the brothers already hate him, because they did hate him, he's going to assume that Yaakov is going to say the brothers are hating him because he did something wrong, and it's a mitzvah to hate someone like that. That he did something heavy. He's not a tzaddik.
Right.
By the way,
they're 10 of them saying that Yosef did something wrong. They're all tzaddik.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
It's not the first time it happened in the family. Yitzhak thought that Esav was better than Yaakov. And then it comes out he wasn't. So Yaakov knows firsthand it could be not true. So it's all experience, nothing like experience. So for that reason, Yosef was worried. So he went out of his way to tell Lashon Hara on the brothers to make sure you know that they're eating Eved Min HaChai. So the fact that they're feeling like this lately is not because of anything me. It's because it's on them, right? And when they sold Yosef, they're showing no. What I'm doing is what is the Hamim.
Look how merciful we are.
How much what?
Look how merciful we are.
We're more. Yeah.
If we weren't merciful,
we would have killed you.
We would have killed you.
Because why?
Let Yaakov wonder what happened.
Right. Why would we kill you? Because you're
Hayabita. Because we are a Beit Din.
We're a Beit Din. And we said that you're trying to take over the dynasty. You're starting with Lashon Hara. We don't like you. Pesachim, it says, throw the guy to the dogs. Get rid of him. You're out. And we're not doing that.
Because we're merciful.
We're merciful. So we're going out of our way, shecht an animal, put the dam, put it on the beged, rip up the beged, give it to the father, let him see, go through it. Someone's got to do it. They got to go and tell him the news. It's much easier to stand on the side and just let him figure it out on his own and say, I don't know. But we're not doing that. Okay? So that's Dapka, the reason why they did it. And how does that help? By the Satan, by the Sada Mitzrayim, not the Satan, different. Because he's saying that the Ahim, they were all excited and they felt that they could handle it through their own Maasim Tovim. But when they died, and these are their children, these are their grandchildren, where is it? Show me where's the mitzvot? Where's the Maasim Tovim? It's nowhere to be found. So that's why it's Mekaterek saying these guys don't deserve to leave. Keep them here. Right? But then we said, but what about there was Hoshed on the Arayot? You're going to say Eshe Potifar. What's the big deal, Eshe Potifar? All right, so you had a close encounter, fine. But everybody does, by the way, growing up. I mean, it's kind of what it is.
17 years old. 17
years old. What do you want from the guy? But he became king. So it's worth it. But no, that's not really the onish that he suffered. What he suffered was the embarrassment that the whole country, by the way, there's nothing worse. The whole concept of Kiddush Hashem is letting the world, you want to talk about Or Laguim, right? When they see how you act in business, that's Or Laguim. When you're not willing to steal, when you're not willing to cheat, right? That's the way the Torah is. That's the right way. So Yosef, everybody loved Yosef. Everybody loved Yosef. Now that we find there was a scandal with the guy that everybody loved, who represented God, that's an embarrassment.
It's not only an embarrassment. It's very hard to come back from that tarnish.
Yeah, for sure. Sure, very hard to come back from that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So for that was the busha that he encountered, which means he caused busha to the Torah. Because they all know he was an Ivri. And what happens there, right? And then, so he had to